It's September 14, 2021. I'm Todd Dunn aboard my 1936 wooden powerboat Tortuga, out for an afternoon cruise. And it's going to be one of the last afternoon cruises of the season because the boat is probably going to be in the shed in about 2 weeks. So today we're going to head over into Northeast Harbor and have a look at Northeast Harbor here as the summer cruising season winds down. Here's the view forward as we run out of Southwest Harbor, running at about 4.7 knots now, for two reasons. One, we are in the 5-knot zone for the harbor, and two, I'm letting the engine warm up. It's up to about 175 degrees, and this boat runs at 195, so I usually get it up to 180 before I take us up to cruising RPMs. A few boats out sailing, not a lot though, as we head past Greening Island and then over toward Northeast Harbor. And I'll put a chart in right here to show you exactly where we went on this trip today. Okay, we're just passing the east end of Greening Island here. And looking over that way, past Gilpatrick Cove where the boats are moored, to the entrance to Somme Sound. And ahead is the entrance to Northeast Harbor where we're headed right now. Well, we're just coming into the entrance to Northeast Harbor, right up here. We're going to make a turn to port and go in. And you can see some of the summer cottages here on the waterfront. This large sort of gray wood one with all the chimneys is a relatively new cottage. There was a big one there that, 15, 16 years ago burned down, and took them a few years to rebuild. Well, here we are heading in. The first big dock with the building on the dock is Clifton Dock, and that is a fuel dock where you can get diesel and ethanol-free gasoline. One of 2 fuel docks in the area where you can pick up ethanol-free gas. The other is Dysart's Marina. It doesn't look like there are a huge number of boats ahead as we slow down a little to maintain no wake as we go in. Northeast Harbor is the primary harbor for visiting boaters to stay in. There are probably 40 to 50 rental moorings in here that are relatively reasonably priced, relative to staying at a marina, that is. I think you're probably going to pay $30 to $50 a night depending on how big your boat is. And it looks like there's still a few transients in here, but most of the boats that I see are boats I recognize, and I think they're local boats. Go past a few more quaint and modest summer cottages here on the shore, and the various runabouts and day sailors here as we head into Northeast Harbor. Most of the time this harbor is very sheltered. However, there are 2 times when it can be a little unpleasant to be in here. That's when you have a strong southerly wind because the harbor is open to the south, or a strong northerly wind because that's north straight ahead there, and the north wind funnels in between the hills, and it can be really blow in here if it's a strong northerly wind. And back over here to port, we have the Northeast Harbor Municipal Marina, which has quite a few openings right now. Doesn't look like you have any trouble getting a spot at the marina tonight. And it's going to empty out quite a bit more. And here, about October 15th, they'll have lots of space in there. And I know people who've come over here to hide from a storm and only paid, I think it was $12 a night for a slip in the marina. Of course, that was quite a while ago. So we'll just cruise through and have a look at some of the moorings and everything. Pretty much any mooring in here that doesn't have a lobster boat on it is probably a rental mooring during the season. And over here we have a couple of different town docks. The first one is the town dock, where you can go in and tie up for up to 2 hours. And then there's the sort of a commercial town dock, where if you're a commercial boat, you can tie up. But they don't like recreational boaters tying up there. Turn here a little bit. You can see this is actually a pretty good sized marina. It's run by the town of Northeast Harbor. And it's not a bad marina. Easy access to the town, which is just up the hill a little bit. Over here, we have some of the moorings. One type of mooring they rent here in Northeast Harbor are these docks, where they'll put 2 boats on a dock. So if you're coming in with somebody, if you're 2 boats traveling together, so these make a nice way to tie up with friends so that you can socialize across the dock. And the rest of the moorings in here are just individual moorings, and the numbers on them tell you how big a boat they can accommodate. Numbers in the 200s can accommodate boats up to 30 feet, numbers in the 300s, boats up to 40 feet, and numbers 400 and higher, up to 50 feet, etc. About the biggest boat you'll find in the inner harbor here is about a 40-footer. Cruise out. Here is a typical small lobster boat. And we'll go by another one up here. A few other boats over there. But these all are pretty much boats I recognize. I don't see too many transients here right now. And here's another lobster boat. Side of the boat is all beat up from traps hitting it when they pull them out of the water. And another little bit bigger lobster boat with a piece of stainless steel on the side of the boat to protect the fiberglass. And a few other boats. A white large gaffer. The aluminum boat named Grendel belongs to some friends. They had that built, custom built in the Netherlands, and sailed it over here. And a few other larger boats. There's that big, very salty looking powerboat there. And we'll get a good look at this schooner before I stop this segment of the video as we exit Northeast Harbor. And here's this schooner. I don't know where this boat comes from. Anyway, we're going to head out of Northeast Harbor over toward the entrance to Sept Sound. Okay, I'm getting ready to make my turn to head over toward the entrance of Sept Sound. That's Greening Island ahead. And I had to turn through the sun. And it's a little rolly here because we're taking beam seas. So I'm going to speed up a little. The boat seems to handle that sort of thing a little better if it's going faster, because its bow wave tends to knock down the seas a little bit. We'll jump up to almost 7 knots to make the ride a little more comfortable. Well, we're just about to sail into the lee of the island, so it should flatten out quite a bit, and in fact it's already starting. Doesn't take much, just put a little island in between you and the bigger waves and it gets remarkably smooth. Okay, I've slowed down to about 1,570 knots. That's Mount Desert Island there and Gilpatrick Cove. A lot of the racing boats are gone for the season. Right up here, just before we get to that big field, is the entrance to Sept Sound. I don't think we're going to go up into the sound today, but we'll have a look up the sound. Okay, this is the entrance to Sept Sound on the starboard bow up here. We're going to head across the entrance so you get a good look up the sound. I'm not going to go up there today, because it looks like there's a fair amount of boat traffic. The entrance is narrow, and it's very difficult with Tortuga to avoid taking a wake on the beam, which rolls the boat pretty badly. So I try not to go up there when there's much boat traffic. We also stay out of there most of the time in the summer because it can be anywhere from 10 to almost 20 degrees warmer up Sept Sound than it is out here in the Great Harbor of Mount Desert Island. Okay, you can really see the view of Sept Sound from here as we're just about to pass the entrance to the sound. Got a couple of wakes on it, and then we're going to turn a little bit to port and head over big wake, head back over in the direction of Southwest Harbor. And Sept Sound is over on the starboard side as we look south toward the passage between Greening Island and Clark Point into the main part of Southwest Harbor. What I'm going to do is run over close to the shore and just sort of run in parallel to the shore into that passage. Okay, we're coming back into Southwest Harbor. We just want to round the end of Clark Point. And the only thing you want to be careful of is not to go inside that green day mark there. I have a rule of staying away from day marks since they are physically attached to the bottom. Now that one may look like there's good water all the way around it, but at low tide you can see the rocks it's sitting on. As we head back in, Hinkley Yachts is straight ahead. They don't have too many boats in their mooring field, and when I went by the other day, they were hauling boats for the season. So we're just going to come up here a little bit and turn to starboard and head back into Southwest Harbor and call this little afternoon cruise aboard my 1936 wooden powerboat Tortuga finished. And as we come back into the harbor here, one thing we want to do is keep our eyes open for traffic all around us. We don't want to make any turns or anything until we're sure there are no boats overtaking us. And we might put ourselves right in front of. Tortuga is very nice for that. As you can see, as I make a 360-degree pan here, visibility around the boat is pretty good. So if I turn around and have a look, I can tell very easily if there is boat traffic that I need to be aware of. So we're just about ready to make the turn west into Southwest Harbor, and I'm going to go a little bit further south so that I'm not running straight into the sun. Because believe it or not, there is lobster gear in the harbor, and yeah, I find it very embarrassing to get all tangled up in lobster gear 100 yards from my slip. So I prefer not to run straight into the sun on my way in, because when you run straight into the sun, you cannot see the lobster gear. You can tell we're getting to the end of the season. These mooring buoys with the green top are rental moorings run by the town of Southwest Harbor, and there are 5 of them, and they are all empty today. So it's season is definitely winding down here on September 14, 2021. And we're headed into the Marina, which is just up here on the starboard bow. And we have about 1/3 of a mile to go until we're there. So I am gonna call this video finished today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this one, but probably not until next year. I'm gonna have to make do with Acadia National Park and boat maintenance videos for a while from here on out, because Tortuga should be out of the water within 2 weeks. Thanks for watching.